Welcome to Buckeyes Tomorrow Morning for Tuesday, February 25th. I'm your host, Tom Orr. The Texas game in 186 days, the game against Michigan in 277 days. If you're planning your next event, make it unforgettable with Grateful Griddle, Columbus's favorite food truck, serving up smash burgers, gourmet sandwiches, and good vibes. Book your catering today at GratefulGriddleOH.com. Today's show, we're going to be talking about Ohio State basketball, men's and women's. And the quality of the vibes depends on whether you're talking about the men's or the women's team. We're going to start with the good vibes, and we're going to start with Kevin Noon of BuckeyeHuddle.com. He was at the women's game on Sunday when the Buckeyes took down Purdue very comfortably in their regular season home finale. And Kevin, you were there, as I said, nice win over Purdue, and Jelani Cambridge earned Big Ten Freshman of the Week honors. Buckeye women's team looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, they look really good. I mean, I think there's still a line between USC and UCLA, and then the next cut of teams, whether or not that's Ohio State, Maryland. I mean, where does Iowa kind of fit into all of that? But I think Ohio State would be much more willing to take on those West Coast teams, maybe somewhere a little closer than going all the way out to the West Coast. But yeah, Jelani Cambridge, real special athlete, 20 points against Purdue, 3 of 5 from outside the arc, 7 of 7 from the free throw line, just a real solid, steady player. I mean, you always want to worry just a little bit about turnovers, but she's done a good job of taking care of the ball. And while this women's basketball team for Ohio State may not be right there in that upper cut, as I said, of the Big Ten, those first two teams, this is the type of team that can get hot at the right time and make a run, because they're starting to get a little bit more of an inside presence, even though maybe it's not there. Asia Petty still is a load down there to take care of, but with Emma starting to get some more minutes, their European freshman, I think that this team is starting to round into shape.
Yeah, I'm not going to make you say that last name. That's okay. We just last year had Rebecca Mishilakova. See, I used to be able to do it. Now I can't do it this year.
That was Becky to me.
Haven't had to say her name in a while. Mishilakova. She's not on the team anymore, and I have another difficult to pronounce last name. So, but overall, looking at this women's team, looking ahead to March, and you're getting there to March now, less than a week away. How does this team stack up with kind of what you generally need to make a run? I mean, I look at March and I think, okay, how's the guard play? How do they do in terms of turnovers? Are they super reliant on one person to score? Can they hold up to a team that has a lot of bigs? Are there any real obvious red flags or any obvious spots where it's like, they check some of the boxes that you need to check to make a pretty good run in March?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all little, still can be a little hit or miss. And, that's okay. They still have a couple of games left. But, I think that they don't really rely upon just one person to carry the water for them. I mean, obviously, you have Cody McMahon. You've got Jelani Cambridge. Right there, those two combined for 36 points. Chance Gray had a huge game, 21 points. You're not going to get 21 points out of Chance Gray all the time. But, when you get 12 out of Asia Petty. I mean, they didn't even need Taylor Theory to have a big game. She was held to just 2 points there. So I think they've got multiple scores. I think that, they were 51.9% from 3-point land. That's probably a pipe dream once you kind of get into the playoffs. This was not a very good Purdue team, 17th out of 18 teams in the Big Ten going into that game. But I think that there's a lot there that fits well. So it's just going to kind of be a matter of, can you stay hot? Can you get the guard play? And we know that the tournament, both Big Ten and NC2A, is all about matchups. And they're just some teams that they're going to get, that they match up better against. I would prefer to see them not go against teams that really run inside out offense and having to and trade paint in the paint, because it's probably not what they're built for.
Right now, just to give you an update, they are a 4 seed in bracketology. And just as a reminder, the women's tournament, the top 4 seeds in each region, they get to host those first couple rounds. So assuming they stay kind of where they are in the bracket or maybe move up a little bit, they would get a chance to host the first couple rounds in the Schottenstein Center. They got to do that last year as well. 13 Big Ten teams currently projected to be in. 13. That is a crazy high number. And Buckeyes right now third in the conference in the women's standings. As you mentioned, USC and UCLA, a combined 29-2 in league play, but the Buckeyes 12-4 in third place, 1 game ahead of Maryland and a game and a half ahead of Illinois. So should have a pretty good seed in that Big Ten women's tournament and have a chance to maybe pick up some more quality wins as they make a case for the big dance and where they end up there. Now on to the men's team, and oh boy, not the vibe's not as good. Let's say they lost UCLA over the weekend. They've kind of hit the skids, and boy, every time they lose a game, it feels like you look down at the paint, and it's like, boy, they could really use another big. I keep thinking back to Felix Okpara, who last year was one of the Buckeyes centers. And I think everyone, as soon as I say that name, if you haven't thought about him in a while, it's probably like, they could really use a Felix Okpara on this team. Unfortunately, he transferred to Tennessee.
Yeah, he did. Ohio State goes into the portal, gets a couple of 5-star as recruit centers. Unfortunately, it just hasn't worked out the way they would like. There's just kind of been like an alternating thing of not either having Sean Stewart or Aaron Bradshaw. They've not had Aaron Bradshaw. Ohio State doing its West Coast swing right now, played at UCLA, will stay out west, then we'll play at USC, kind of the way that they're trying to help with some of the travel concerns with this national conference that the Big Ten is, but not having that presence there, they're having to throw guys that maybe aren't ready out there. I mean, it's Austin Parks has been seeing more minutes here as of late. He had 3 points in 14 minutes, but they're kind of getting ate up there. And then you look at what happens is they can't really drive to the 10, so they're having to settle for a lot of jumpers. John Mobley Jr. had 8 points, 3 of 10 shooting. Devin Royal has hit a little bit of a sophomore slump, 6 points. He's had a couple of difficult games right there. And then, as I said, Sean Stewart had 2 points, 4 fouls, only played 12 minutes. So when your best skilled big is only seeing 12 minutes because of being in just constant foul trouble, that's problematic. So, Ohio State had a nice schedule set up toward the end to maybe amass a couple of wins. A couple have gotten away from them. It's starting to look bleak. I mean, everybody had said, well, they're definitely going to be in the Big Ten tournament because they're only taking 15 teams of the 18. That math they haven't secured that yet. So they need to figure some things out.
Yeah, they could technically fall outside of that Big Ten tournament. They are 7-10, right now in conference, 11th in the league. But they have 3 winnable games left, but they also have 3 losable games left. They're at USC, home for Nebraska, at Indiana. And as I said, they're 11th in the Big Ten right now. And if you look at bracket matrix, they are right on the NCAA tournament bubble where most sources have them in, but there are a few that have them out. CBS, for example, does not have them in the field of 68 right now. This just feels like you got 3 regular season games left that I just went through. You've probably got a winnable game. You win 2 of those, and you win 1 in the Big Ten tournament, you're probably comfortably in. If you win less than that, then you're probably having a nervous and or disappointing selection Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that the Big Ten is going to get some props when it comes to the selection committee. This is all speculation, just like we have to try and speculate what the CFP committee is going to do. But there's something to be said about how you approach the finish line. And, Ohio State is rolling and tumbling and spontaneously combusting, and not really a good look right now. So those winnable games, they need to win a couple of them. And it'd be nice to make a little bit of a splash in Indianapolis. Let's remember when Jake Diebler was the interim head coach and then got named the full-blown head coach. They caught a little fire toward the end. We're trying to find the side hatch into the tournament. Unfortunately, that run came up short. But we'll see. But this team needs to show a lot more heart.
Yeah, we'll see where that team goes. We will also see. That's not the only thing the only time Indianapolis is going to come up on this week's shows. Kevin and Tony are about to head to Indianapolis for the NFL Combine. That is going to be the topic of pretty much the rest of the shows this week. Wanted to get a basketball show in here today just because we're going to be talking a whole lot of football and a whole lot of NFL Combine the rest of the week. So there you go. You got your little dose of basketball. We'll have more, I'm sure, coming up. March is on the way, but this week is going to be all about the NFL Combine. Buckeyes with 15 players there, most in the nation. It's one of those good news, bad news situations, but there's going to be plenty to talk about this week as we talk about all those Buckeyes headed off the NFL. And there's going to be plenty to talk about all of March as we talk basketball, but of course also talk about replacing those 15 guys who are at the NFL Combine on this year's upcoming Ohio State football team as they kick off spring practice in just a few weeks. Great place to talk about all of that. Well, that would be BuckeyeHuddle.com. That's where Kevin, Tony, and I cover the team. Mark covers recruiting. We got our whole team of X's and O's gurus there as well to make you a smarter football fan, all at BuckeyeHuddle.com. We hope to see you there. That'll do it for today. Thank you guys all for joining us. Have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.